information about this new partnership with Pirelli. I got in contact with David Goosen, one of the representatives for Pirelli South Africa and Bikewise, and all of their subsidiary sponsors, the likes of Renthal, Motul, DID, SBS, and I believe it's 600’s. I may be wrong, I might have to speak to him about this. But all sponsors for the bike classes this year, Pirelli being the main one. The contract was only dealt with right at the end of last year, but for a bit more reassurance to the guys that I know there's been differing opinions about the tires moving from an open tire class now to specifically Pirelli's amongst all three classes this season. Pirelli being the incredible Italian manufacturer that they are worldwide with the likes of Formula One, for example, World Superbikes, we have a contract that all the leftover stock that World Superbikes has after their races and their secondary series have completed, it gets distributed to the rest of the world, and we have between 600 and 700 brand new fresh Pirelli rubbers coming to Cape Town in the next 2 weeks, only for us here at Cape Town Power Series. But there's more that I'll explain a little bit later on when they come out for race 2. But we are here for Pirelli Superbike Challenge 600s and Masters. The lights go on, and it's Tristan Pienaar that starts on pole position. The 1000s and 600s get underway, and here we go down towards Blockcoin corner, David Christie.
Absolute gaggle of bikes in down into turn one for the first time. It's a 7-lap race that we've got going on. It is going to be a Ronald Slammer up in that lead group just now. You've got about 4 bikes just in the front of them just now as they come down into 2 again, into that banked corner. Want to get it nice and tucked in on that right. But again, you can see a nice early lead. I believe that is actually Ronald Slammer in the number 68 bike. That Yamaha R1 just streaking away. We'll get confirmation when they do come across the line. But again, we're seeing these just in every other bike race that we've had here, own little groups going through here. Also to keep an eye on the Masters. That's a subclass championship that's going on for riders that are 35 years and older. They score points in their primary class, so in their main class, but in the Masters as well.
So there are 4 main classes in this championship, and you can actually win 2 championships in one series with the likes of the Masters Challenge and Superbikes, as well as the 600s. As now out of the final corner we have the likes of AJ Venter, Alan John Venter from Johannesburg, one of the only South Africans to do the Isle of Man TT, racing up with the fastest accountant on 2 wheels, that being Malcolm Rapson, and the Red Baron, that being Ronald Slammert, who's trying to fight for his 4th Western Province Superbike title. He's won 3 titles already. He wants to end his career off with another championship. But Tristan Pienaar, we call him young Piston Pienaar, because he's always absolutely on it, firing on all cylinders, in this case 4, or 2 in fact. Down towards turn number 3, Dam's Dip they come. There he goes on the CBR 1000 RRR for Missile Motorcycles, and down towards Sarl Sweep the rest of the field will come.
Yep, so it is pretty much a fight between 2nd, 3rd and 4th position right now, because you've got the number 68 of Slammet, you've got Jan Venter, Alan Jan Venter in the 39 as well. And again, you can just see how much of a gap that Pienaar is opening up there. It was 2.8 seconds as they went across the line. That's now surely going to be up to more than 4.5 seconds as they go into lap number 3 here. But a fascinating battle a little bit further out. So as we said, we've got 3 different classes all going on. You can see that on the screen there at the top there. But there is your race leader, Tristan Pienaar, fastest lap of the race, 1:17. But in 2nd position, Ronald Slammy in the 68. 3rd place is Alan Van Yenter. Malcolm Rapson in 4th position. You've then got Eden Haynes in 5th position, Michael Du Toit in 6th, and then Mark van der Berg in 7th position. You've got a bike off of the track. Thankfully, it looks like that it just is a mechanical there.
Well, it looks to be in the dirt in turn number 4, so there will be a yellow flag there. I'm just watching to see the names running down the field. And Dion Ebel on the 2nd CBR 1000 RRR, the number 27, unfortunately looks to have dropped all the way down and is a lap down at this point in time. So it looks to be him that has ended up in the kitty litter, but the bike was up, and I believe he's up. We'll just wait for confirmation. Zander Tayo dropping down a couple of positions in the 888 motorcycles. 750 GSXR, as they come down towards Cape Town corner once again. It's still Pienaar, who's 3.7 seconds ahead of Ronald Slammer at the moment. Alan John Fenty in that third spot ahead of Malcolm Rapson. Eden Haynes, that is your top 5 all in the Superbike class. Then just behind that, Michael the Toy, the learner, number 7, now using the number 99 as Tristan Pienaar goes down into block coin corner.
Yep, so there is your leader there, second place then of Ronald Slammy in the number 68 bike. Alan Jan Venter in the 39 in third position. Malcolm Rapson in fourth position. Eden Haynes in fifth. Michael de Toit in sixth. Mark van den Berg in seventh position. Xander Talgaard in eighth position. You've got Connie Boat in ninth, and 10th position is going to be Daniel Frost as well. So again, real fights going on all the way through. Just as a point as well, that lead battle is actually coming back in, or it was coming back in. I thought it was going to go up to 4.5 seconds. It only went to 3.8, but now it's gone to 4.3. So Tristan pulling out the pin, but it's not by as much as I thought it was going to be.
Yep, but still with 5 laps, or just under 5 laps left to go, there's still more than enough time for him to pull away. As we look through, it's Venter from Rapson, Haynes, De Toy, Vandenberg, Taljaard, Boetas, Frost as your top 10. Then outside the top 10, we've got Wayne Arendse, Jean van Dijk, Francois Krutzinger, and Dion Ebel. Francois Krutzinger just quietly in the 600 class after being promoted from the Clubman's Breakfast and Classics previously last year, as Tristan Pienaar comes in to turn number 1. Absolutely flying ahead of the rest of the field at this point in time. Ahead of Ronald Slammert on that RSRA, or Ronald Slammert Racing Academy bike. Just ahead there is Malcolm Rapson. That comes through with Eden Haynes just behind on his lovely motorcycle. He calls that Bethany, with no particular reason, but I'm sure she's a fierce motorcycle between his legs. As we watch them go through now, that is Haynes and De Toy, in fact. Just behind him will be Mark van den Berg, sponsored there by GFP Bike, or GFP Lighting rather. As they run on down, no, I lied, GFP Superbikes, there we go.
Brilliant.
A couple of GFPs around as they come down towards the final corner.
Brilliant fight though between that BMW S1000RR and the Yamaha R1. It's Eden Haynes on the BMW and Michael de Toy on that Yamaha R1. So they're fighting it out down for 5th and 6th position. But as we cut back, there is going to be Tristan Pienaar just again lighting up the timing screens there. 1:12.119 as the rest of the field come through. Second place for Slammy, third place Jan Venter, 4th place for Rapson as well, and then it's everyone else. Eden Haynes is going to come across the line just now. Michael de Toy hotly in tow, and again then Mark van den Berg in the 96th and 7th position. You've got Talgaard in 8th as they make their way down into block coin corner.
Another one of my favorite things about this class specifically, as well as Clubman's Breakfast and Classics, is the vast variety of manufacturers. We've got the likes of Kawasaki, BMW with the S1000RR, ridden by a couple of guys. The likes of, we saw Eden Haynes, as well as Jean van Dijk and Connie Boetas. And then you also have the Yamaha R1s, Suzuki GSX-R 1000s, as well as the Honda CBR 1000 RRs and RRs. As now we watch these two come through Dam's Dip. Now that's still that fight between Eden Haynes and Michael de Toy. As they come through, Sarl Sweep now will jump a little bit further ahead. This is sitting for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. That being Slammert, Alan John Venter and Malcolm Rapson, all amongst the 3 of them, all on different manufacturers.
I'm just glad you said Ronald Slammett's name finally, so I knew that I wasn't absolutely butchering it there. But either way, what a brilliant fight for 2nd, 3rd and 4th position as they come across the line. Just 0.3 of a second separating the top 2nd and 3rd riders out there just now. 2 laps left to go in this first race of the day for the Pirelli Superbikes Challenge Masters and 600s. And this again, you can see Ronald Slammy having to get a little bit defensive now because Alan Jan Venter is probing at the back of that number 68 Yamaha R1, and Jan Venter really does look like he's going to be trying to make an opportunity on his Kawasaki ZX-10.
We've got multiple champions in all their rights, as there's a rider down in turn number 2. It could be bike 99, that being Michael de Toy. He was fighting with Eden Haynes. He's going to try and lift that bike up. If it is Michael, I'll just look in my binoculars very quickly.
Yeah, the bike's on the exit of turn 2 as well.
It looks like the 99, in fact. And I believe that is Michael de Toy and he had that issue just sliding out midway through the corner, trying to catch up and pass. As now 1 more lap to go for Tristan Pienaar.
Unbelievable. There is your race leader then coming down into turn 1 for the final time then, as we cut back to the rest of the field. Ronald Slammy then losing that second position to Alan Van Yenter. We were focusing on that accident at the exit of turn 2. Jan Venter, excuse me, up to P2 then. On the final lap, Ronald Slammy down to P3. Will he be able to take that position back? Malcolm Rapson up to P4. Ian Haynes in P5. You can see just in the background here. But again, with the yellow flags there, he's going to be trying to rejoin the circuit, which is awesome to see him finishing the race here. This is not over. Alan Jan Venter coming under real pressure from Ronald Slammy.
Absolutely, and the pressure's getting even more and more so, but we'll stay on Tristan Pienaar on that missile motorcycle CBR 1000 RRR as he makes his way down to the final corner. At only 20 years old, this young man will now come across the line to take victory in race number 1 on the back wheel. Check it, Tristan Pienaar. What a wild
Here we go,
man.
though.
Let's look at this battle. Take it away.
Here we go, side by side for P2 and P3. Jan Venter holds on to it from Ronald Slammy. That was so close there. Malcolm Rapson, though, is going to finish in P4 all by himself there. Ian Haynes, robbed of that battle with Michael Dutoit, will come across the line in P5. And then it's going to be Mark Vandenberg taking a position because of that issue up into P6. He's going to come under the bridge and across the line just now. Xander Palyard, we didn't really see too much of them in the 88 in 7th position, but a cracking fight. You've got Connie Boat as well as Daniel Frost and Johan Van Dijk coming across the line there. Almost couldn't get the words out of my mouth there. Such was how close it was for those three. We didn't see them at all during the race, but a fantastic race there. Wayne Andy finishing in P11 there, and my goodness me, great to see Michael Dutoit did get that bike across the line, so he is classified as a finisher in that race.
Absolutely. He was unfortunately only a lap down, but he tried to get that bike fired up and running, and it just kept having problems trying to get back onto the circuit, but he managed even a lap down, as we see Francois Kritzinger bring that 750 across the line as well to finish off the Pirelli Superbike Challenge Masters in 600s. And as well as that, Wayne Arnoldson very quietly almost sneaking into the top 10 on that Eagle Vision Association ZX10 of his. But brilliant stuff nonetheless.
Also noticing that it was actually Ronald Slammy that got the leading Masters in that one, unless, because obviously I don't have Tristan on my my entry list there, but 1/10 of a second between second and third place. That's exactly the sort of finish that you want to have here for the Superbikes, the Pirelli Superbikes Superbike Challenge, the 600s, and yeah, fantastic stuff. Just briefly while they come round then, as well, to explain the difference, because obviously the Superbikes are the creme de la creme, they are the elites, but the Superbike Challenge, they're pretty much matched on pace as well. That's kind of the proving ground, isn't it? As we go into a replay. Oh, now that is a huge moment actually for Deon Abel.
Absolutely, and we'll just have to see if we can get another replay of that. He looks like he was fighting halfway through the corner, and he was actually just behind somebody. I can't quite tell you just from up here who that is.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, because there's nothing as a rider you can do until it's too late anyway, and you're already down on the ground.
Absolutely. Once the front gives way, there is nothing you can do, and it sent that CBR 1000 RRR up into the sky almost and left in the dust. I'm glad that he was able to stand up, but unfortunately that bike not getting underway. And let's see if we can see Michael Dutoit's incident as well. Is this that replay? Not quite.
No, not quite, but wow.
But here's this finish between Slamet and AJ Fenter. Slamet trying to go around the outside up against the wall. The cheers against the fence, and Alan John Fenter just pipping Ronald Slamet at the tail.
Like I said, that is exactly what you want from a Superbike race. My favourite was the wheelie finish from Tristan Pienaar. Again, as we go to a replay, now what I love is that we can get an accident that looks quite violent like that, and immediately the rider straight back up. But even more so, the rider straight back up, straight to get to the bike and try and get back and rejoin the race. But at which point, that bike's going straight back to the garage to get a once-over. And if that was me, I'm away to the clubhouse to get a cup of coffee by that point.
Yeah, because it's not quite not cup of coffee hours, if you know what I mean. That's later on today.
Let's face it, if it's me, I'd be 30 seconds per lap behind the pace anyway, so it's fine.
But wow, what a way to end off the first round of those 3 bike classes before we head into API Property Group GTI Challenge. But just before that, while they clean up the circuit, we will have a tribute to our fallen friend.